So question 22 is one of these wordy problems that you just need to spend a bit of time thinking about and then working through step by step. It's worth 5 marks, so you should be spending a significant amount of time doing this question. And it all starts by reading it first and interpreting what's going on. So it says a bonus of £4,200 is shared by 10 people who work for a company. 40% of the bonus is shared equally between 3 managers, and the rest of the bonus is shared equally between 7 salespeople. Peter, who's one of the salespeople, says if the bonus is shared equally between all 10 people, then I'll get 25% more money. Janet, who's one of the managers, says no, you won't get that much extra. Your task here is to show that Janet is actually correct by working out how much Peter thinks he would get and how much he would actually get. And then MathsWatch wants you to answer it in a particular sentence. Now that's just so that the MathsWatch program can read your working. An exam wouldn't necessarily be so strict on the way you have to write your final answer, but an exam would expect you to answer it properly with a sentence. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by working out how much Peter would get if it was shared equally between all 10 people. That's the first bit, and that's actually really, really easy. So if there's £4,200 and it is shared equally between 10 people, fairly obviously, that's £420. So Peter would get £420 if it was shared equally between the 10 people. So what we now need to do is work out if that is 25% more money than what he's going to get if it's done this way. So 40% of the bonus went to the managers, so that means that the rest of it must have gone to the salespeople. Now remember, Peter's one of the salespeople, so he's getting part of the 60%. So the first thing I'm going to do now, the next thing I'm going to do is work out what 60% of £4,200 is. Now, non-calculator, so I think the best way to do this is to work out what 50% is and then add on 10%, because they're both really quite straightforward to do. So 50% of 4,200, half of it, 2,100. 50%, the same as a half. Half of 4,200 is 2,100. Now we also need 10%. 10% of 4,200 is also pretty straightforward. We can just divide it by 10, and that is 420. And so now, because we know what 50% is and we know what 10% is, if we add them together, then we know what 60% is. So 2,100 add 420 is £2,520. However, Peter's only one of those 7 salespeople. So what we need to do is work out how much Peter would get by dividing this by 7. And again, it's a non-calculator paper, so we need to do 7s into 2,520. So 7s into 2 doesn't go. 7s into 25 is 3, remainder 4. 7s into 42 is 6, and then we need the 0 on the end. 7s into 0 doesn't go. So we know that Peter, this would get £360. However, what Peter thinks is that he would get 25% more if it was shared by 10. So he thinks this might be 25% more than this. So let's work out what 25% more than £360 is. So to increase this by 25%, it means we need to find 25% of 360 and then add it on. That would be 25% more than 360. So 25% of 360, that's quite an easy one. 25% is the same as a quarter. A quarter of 360 is the same as 360 divided by 4. And 360 divided by 4, half it and half it again, is £90. Again, if you're ever not sure, work it out properly. Work it out with a written method. 4s into 3, 4s into 36 is 9, and falls into 0 we can't do, so we put the 0 on, so it is £90. Right, now we needed to add this on because we were increasing 360 by 25%. So if we do £360, add £90, then we'll get £450. Now, is that the same as that? No. So Peter's not correct. Janet was correct. You won't get that much extra. Okay, so we would need to answer our question correctly, and I'm going to write that. So Peter thinks he would get £450, but actually he would get £420 if it was shared equally by the 10 people. Okay, so Peter was incorrect, Janet was correct, and if you answer on MathsWatch with a sentence similar to this one or this one, then MathsWatch will read it correctly.